A shooting in broad daylight on the northeast side takes the life of one person in Lawrence. We'll have the very latest on this police investigation.
And all quiet right now across central Indiana, but we are expecting a round of storms to come through as we get through this evening. We'll break down the latest timeline and the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center.
And changes to Indiana Black Expo summer celebration. It didn't stop the party, though. We'll tell you how vendors were still able to share their business with the city. And good morning to you. 6 o'clock on your Saturday morning. I'm Julia Moffett along with Lindsay. I know I'm here on a Saturday. Get confused about your day of the week, but boy, we had some major rainstorms last night.
Yeah, it was wild, and not to mention how humid it was. And hopefully that kind of cleared the air out because we've been dealing with some air quality issues, things like that. We have one more round of storms expected today, going to come through along a backdoor cold front. That means a cold front that's actually going to sweep to the south and to the west. Traditionally, they move the opposite. They move from west to east. So it's going to be one of those systems here today that will spark some scattered thunderstorms, some of which could be on the strong to severe side. Everything pretty quiet right now. I do want to take a step out. Been monitoring a complex of storms developing up to our north, coming in out of Wisconsin, approaching Chicago as we speak. But overall, a pretty quiet start to our day. In fact, I think we will see several dry hours to get our day started, and then eventually we'll increase that shower and storm chance as we head into the afternoon and especially this evening. Let's talk about what's going on outside right now as we are watching the sun coming up over that eastern horizon. This is from the Motor Speedway looking at downtown. We've had some stormy weather in the vicinity, has been moving out though during the overnight. Still very warm, still very muggy. We have a dew point temperature still at 73. We still would consider that very uncomfortable, almost miserable. Anything over 70, and that's basically where we've been the past couple of days. We are at 75 with a southwest wind around 10 miles per hour. Forecast for today, still going to be a hot one again until that round of storms makes its way in. So we've got several dry hours as skies start to cloud back up. We'll get back into the upper 80s during that 3 o'clock hour today, eventually nearing 90 for a forecast high. As we go through the day today, we're going to be watching this incoming system. Check it out. Temperatures here again topping at the low 90s. That's going to take us all the way through 10 o'clock. So again, lots of dry time today. Boundary will sweep through during the first part of our evening. Coming up, we'll talk about the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center and a little bit of an improvement here as we go through the next 7 days. Julia.
Well, a change for this year's summer celebration has some small business owners trying to pivot so they can still be a part of it. They say no matter what or where, they're making the most of a big opportunity. So here's what happened. Vendors received a message just about a week ago that they would not be able to sell inside the Indiana Convention Center. And that's because some licenses didn't match the requirements for food and beverage sales. Then came that pivoting, shifting gears with the help of IBE's president. So they refunded those vendors and worked with them to create an outdoor market.
We just won't get the same exposure anywhere else. You know, there are other smaller farmers markets and things of that nature, but this is so much bigger and for the community.
As a small business owner, we sacrifice for success. We all have other jobs or responsibilities, school, college, full-time jobs, kids and families. So being out here, it's just part of our legacy.
So organizers say they aren't sure if the outdoor market will be back next year because the streets will be back open after construction. But they do say the convention center and caterer have committed to making sure those licenses and permits are passed well before the show begins. Well, federal prosecutors are working to seize the Florida home of a prominent Indianapolis-based developer. They accuse Andy Carr. They say they bought that home with millions of dollars in city money intended for a project in Mishawaka. So according to court documents, Carr's company is responsible for building the Mishawaka Fieldhouse. Investigators say back in 2023, the company filed for disbursement claims. They say Carr claimed the money was for legitimate construction expenses, but instead, court documents say Carr used more than $2 million of that money on the property in Florida. Federal prosecutors are now looking in to seize the Marco Island home. 13 News did not find any criminal charges filed against Card, either federally or here in Indiana. And we did reach out to Card via email, and if we hear back from him, we will of course share his response. Well, now to a developing story. A person we know is dead after a shooting in Lawrence. This was the scene around 4 o'clock last night, Friday afternoon, along Traditions Drive. That's near 42nd and Midhofer. Police tell us the suspect did stay at the scene and officers took a person into custody. We are still trying to learn the identity of that person who was shot and may have led to gunfire as well. If you have any details, you are asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers, and as usual, you do not have to give your full name. Well, resolutions this year, a resolution this morning to a car theft in Indianapolis that was about a lot more than a car. Ellie Anderson says her son Joshua's ashes were inside. Now they are back where they belong, but it all started in May. Anderson's Kia locked, but it didn't stop someone from getting inside and driving away, taking her son Joshua's ashes with them. She talked with our Ashton Hackman through American Sign Language, so you'll hear his voice interpreting.
They go everywhere with me. I was stunned. In that moment, I knew I had lost my son's ashes.
So that all leads to Wednesday. Police say they found 22-year-old Riek Deng with that stolen Kia at a gas station. He reportedly hit a trooper's cruiser trying to get away. According to court documents, Deng told police he wouldn't have taken the car if he'd known the ashes were inside.
While he stole my car, he was out enjoying himself. I was upset because that was my only transportation, especially as a full-time college student and parent of 2.
Anderson also tells us she is grateful to have her son's ashes back. Ding, by the way, is now charged with felony auto theft and resisting law enforcement. He is due back in court on Tuesday.